They said it would make you invincible. They told you ice baths would reduce inflammation, build resilience, burn fat, and awaken some primal warrior within. But here is what they didn't tell you. Cold plunging might be doing more harm than good. Not just to your body, but to your hormones, your immune system, and even your brain. The truth? The benefits are vastly overstated, and the risks have been buried beneath layers of hype, bro science, and Instagram reels. 1. The origins of the cold plunge hype. Let us be clear. Cold exposure is not new. Ancient civilizations practiced it for survival, not for self-improvement. What is new is how it's been rebranded. Ice baths are now part of a billion-dollar biohacking industry. Influencers jump into tubs of ice like it's some rite of passage to enlightenment. But here is what they conveniently ignore. Most of the research on cold exposure is either weak, contradictory, or taken wildly out of context. Take the famous claim: ice baths reduce inflammation and help muscles recover faster. Sounds great, until you read the studies. Yes, cold exposure temporarily reduces inflammation by constricting blood vessels, but that's not always a good thing. Because that inflammation, it's part of the healing process. It's what signals your body to rebuild, grow stronger, adapt. Shutting it down with cold can actually blunt muscle growth and delay long-term recovery, the very opposite of what you want if you retraining hard. Next, let's talk about hormones. Supporters claim that cold plunging boosts dopamine by up to 250%. That's true, for about an hour. But repeated artificial stimulation like this, it's not a sustainable strategy. You are hacking your dopamine system without addressing the root cause of why it's dysregulated in the first place. Even worse, chronic cold exposure can increase cortisol levels, the stress hormone. If you're already sleep-deprived, overcaffeinated, and juggling 1,000 daily stressors, adding a cold plunge to the mix isn't resilience, it's recklessness. You're turning up the volume on an already broken speaker. Now here's where it gets interesting and even more concerning. People claim cold plunging boosts immunity. And yes, brief cold exposure might improve certain immune markers, but not if you're already sick, burned out, or running on empty. If your body is in survival mode, throwing yourself into freezing water isn't strengthening your immune system. It's shocking it. It's diverting resources away from healing and into survival. And let's not forget, many of these benefits were found in trained individuals, under controlled conditions, not in your backyard ice tub after a sleepless night. If you're enjoying this video, please share it with your friends so we can keep making them. You've probably heard this one. Cold plunges cure anxiety and depression. Let's be honest, nothing cures anxiety in 3 minutes. Yes, cold plunging can trigger a euphoric rush, but it's a chemical spike, not emotional regulation. That adrenaline high may feel empowering, but it's no replacement for real mental health work: sleep, connection, purpose, therapy, stillness. Using cold as a crutch can lead you to mistake stimulation for healing. You're not calming your nervous system. You're just flooding it with novelty. And like any stimulant, overuse leads to diminishing returns and dependence. You've heard enough good things about cold plunges. Now let's talk about the one no one ever mentions. The risk that actually makes people faint: cardiovascular shock. Your heart rate spikes. Your blood vessels constrict. Your breathing becomes erratic. We call this the cold shock response. It's not just discomfort, it's a biological emergency. And even for healthy people, repeated extreme exposure can mess with thermoregulation, cause nerve issues, and increase your risk of respiratory complications. Still sound like wellness? Let's zoom out. Do you really need to simulate Arctic survival to prove your worth? To shock your body into discipline? Because here's the truth. Resilience isn't built in 3-minute ice baths. It's built in the discipline of sleeping well, the courage of saying no to junk food, the humility to rest when you're exhausted, the daily work of listening to your body, not just punishing it. You don't need to freeze yourself to become mentally tough. You need to heal, consistently, gently, and intelligently. Now, to be fair, cold exposure isn't inherently evil. Used wisely, it can have benefits. Athletes use it strategically. People recovering from injury can benefit under medical guidance. But that's the point. It should be strategic, not recreational shock therapy. If you enjoy it, fine, but stop pretending it's a cure-all. Stop forcing your body into extremes when it's crying for balance. We've confused pain for progress, shock for healing, trends for truth. Health isn't about how much discomfort you can endure on camera. It's about how deeply you understand the needs of your biology and how courageously you honor them. So before your next plunge, ask yourself, are you doing this for health or for validation? Because the body remembers everything. And it speaks not in hashtags or likes, but in inflammation, fatigue, and silence. Listen closely.